NBA fans, welcome back to the channel. I'm just going to jump right into it today. I'm going to be rating a bullshit meter on NBA trades this offseason coming up. You know? First one, I'm going to get right into it. Is Russell Westbrook from the Houston Rockets going to get traded? I'm saying not bullshit. I'm going to say not BS on that one. Why? Because I think he has a pretty immovable contract, but I think there are teams there interested. I've been reading a lot today about how the New York Knicks would like him, how the Clippers were interested in Russell Westbrook, and the Clippers have a lot of depth to offer. So I don't see it to be a good fit for the Clippers, but at the same time, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility. And I think the Knicks are plenty dumb enough to trade for Russell Westbrook. I don't think they have a lot to offer again, but what is the return for Russell Westbrook in that massive contract? So I'm going to go not bullshit. I bet you he's going to be on a new team by the beginning of next year. Number two, I saw Davis Bertans on the Washington Wizards. There's going to be a sign and trade this offseason. Now, I'm going to call bullshit on that one. Don't get me wrong, I think there's crazy interest in the guy. I mean, there are a lot of teams that wanted him last year, but the Washington Wizards have John Wall back now. And I think they genuinely believe they can contend, and they want to shoot for contention this year. And Davis Bertans was way too good for them last year for them to just trade him. So I'm going to call bullshit. I think they're going to run it back with this team to see if they can do it, have a year to see how the Wizards are. Personally, I don't think they're going to be very good still. John Wall hasn't played since like 1994, so I mean, who knows if he's still athletic. And he could never shoot to begin with, so I mean, how good is John Wall really going to be? But I'm calling bullshit. Number three, Devin Booker. Is Devin Booker getting traded? Now listen. This is total bullshit. There's no shot in the world the Phoenix Suns are trading the best player they've had since Steve Nash and Amari Stoudemire, right? I don't think there's any way that Devin Booker gets moved. I don't even really believe that he wants out. I mean, I can see it. Obviously, the Suns have been pretty shitty for the past couple years, his entire career, and he's a good ball player. But where's he going to go? You know, I mean, I saw trade options of him going to Miami, and I don't think Miami wants to do that because they're saving cap for Giannis next offseason. So I don't know. I don't think the Phoenix Suns are going to get what they need in return. Maybe to the Timberwolves, but for what? The first pick? What do they have? The 17th pick? A couple other first rounders and what, you know? I just don't think the Suns are going to get enough in return for Devin Booker. Plus, I don't think they have any interest in trading him. So, bullshit. They're not trading him. Number four, James Harden to the Philadelphia 76ers. Oh, it's got to be true. Daryl Morey and James Harden, they're like blood brothers. Bullshit. There's no shot. And what's even bigger bullshit is all the rumors coming out that is like, oh, the Sixers are going to get James Harden without trading Joel Embiid or Ben Simmons. How? How are we going to trade for a top 5 MVP candidate for the last, 4 years without trading our two best players? That doesn't even make any sense. That's complete bullshit. The Rockets aren't moving James Harden. If anything, they're going to get rid of Westbrook and try to rebuild around Harden more traditionally like they did before Morey ball and before D'Antoni ball. So I'm calling bullshit on that. Expect him to be in a Rockets jersey next year. Now I have two more. I'm going to go Drew Holiday. Is Drew Holiday going to get traded? I think this is not bullshit. Now, I say this because I think he is the perfect type of player to get traded. He's the perfect movable guy. He's a veteran guard who is a seriously good defender, but can shoot it off the dribble as well. He can create his own shot. He's a good playmaker. He's not an amazing three-point shooter, but I mean, he gets the job done. And I think he just fits with so many different teams. I think he fits as a combo guard for so many different teams. And he just doesn't fit the Pelicans' timeline. So even though they're not outwardly trying to trade him, the Pelicans' general manager did say that they are hearing offers. And I think there is something to be said about that alone, that I do think if they find a good trade offer, they will trade him. Now, I've seen, again, the Miami Heat linked with him, and I don't think the Heat are going to make a major move this year. I don't see it because, again, cap space for Giannis. I just don't see them coming out and getting a Victor Oladipo or getting a Drew Holiday or getting a Devin Booker. I just think they're waiting for Giannis. It's the exact same thing with LeBron and, this summer, the decision and everything. So I don't think Jrue Holiday is getting traded to Miami, but at the same time, I mean, I could see him somehow being moved to a different team. Now, I don't really know where. He's an interesting player, man, because there's so many different teams could use him that I wouldn't be surprised if there's just a team that comes out of left field and trades for Jrue Holiday on draft night. So I'm not calling bullshit on Jrue Holiday getting traded. I could honestly see him play in a different uniform next year. So no bullshit. And then the last but not least, Chris Paul. This is an interesting one too because I don't think he's getting traded. I don't think he's getting traded for a couple of reasons. One, I don't know really what they're going to get for him. His trade value is interesting because he had a really, really good year, but again, his contract is pretty massive and kind of sucks, and he's kind of old. And you don't want to trade for a player who hits his decline when you get him, because that is bad news bears, and that's how your team starts, So it's a dangerous move to make. Again, I think the New York Knicks could do it, so I wouldn't be super surprised, but a part of me also thinks that the Oklahoma City Thunder won't even want to trade him. I mean, look at last offseason. They were like guaranteed to trade Chris Paul, right? Like they were like, oh, he's out. No shot. He plays a game for the Thunder. They're going to move him. Never moved him, and he had a hell of a season. Now, I think he's going to come back and do the same exact thing for Oklahoma City. I think it's such a good fit. I think it's such an organic fit. He is such a good mentor for Shea. They have an athletic team who can shoot threes. Oklahoma City's good, and I think Chris Paul just fits really well with them as an NBA player. So I'm going to call bullshit on them trading Chris Paul this offseason. And then there's a couple more like little smaller moves. I mean, Oladipo. I don't think Oladipo is what he used to be, unfortunately. I used to love Victor Oladipo. I mean, I still do, but his explosiveness was just incredible to watch. It was so exciting. And, I mean, I think he's going to get traded, so I'm going to call no bullshit on that. Where to? I mean, I don't think he's going to get a lot in return. I think the Pacers are screwed as an organization because they have talent that just does not fit well. I like Malcolm Brogdon. I think that was the biggest mistake the Milwaukee Bucks made, was getting rid of him because they thought Eric Bledsoe could do it, and Eric Bledsoe is so bad in the playoffs that it's just yikes, man. That's a part of the Bucks' problem. But I think Pacers should just blow the roster up. I think you can keep Brogdon probably, but you got to get rid of Oladipo if you can. You got to get rid of Miles Turner. Keep Sabonis, because Sabonis is a good ball player. Hopefully he can extend his range a little bit next year. And, I mean, TJ Warren, what are you going to get? Are you going to get Bubble Warren, or are you going to get before TJ Warren? You also have to remember, guys, that TJ Warren had like 50-something points in the bubble, but it was all in the Sixers. Like, the Sixers are infamous for letting dudes that should not be scoring drop like 50 on their head, especially in the last like year and a half. So, look at TJ Warren with ease. I don't really look at the 2K rating of an 87 or some shit, like out of nowhere. I mean, he had a good year, but, I don't know. So, this is my little quick rant. Peace.